Hello and welcome to the second of the Chew Valley School Flash Professional CS5 videos and videocasts for the website. We looked at, before doing a very simple shape tween, getting from one place to another, and that was done quite successfully I think, so we'll move on now. And I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to use ActionScript 2 again, because I don't want it to mess up with the previous bits. I don't want bits of that to come into the second one because I've not cleared them properly. Best to start again and show you the new tool, which is getting one image to move across the screen, which is something that a lot of you will want to do for your animation. So if I go File, Import to Library, not to Stage. If Stage, it goes straight into the center. I'm going to put it into the library because I want to do a bit with it first and then decide where I want to put it, and also I want it to be accessible afterwards to other parts of the keyframe. So I'm going to put it to library, and it prepares to import them, and it looks through your folders and works out where it's going to put it. So it's got to load up the library interface, go into My Documents and get your picture, whichever picture it is that is appropriate. So I'm going to get that picture, or no, in fact I'll get the bunny, I'll get the picture of the happy rabbit with an idea, and that now goes into my library. It's not on the stage. I set it not to go to the stage, I set it to go to the library, and there it is. This is my library items. Now after you've been using Flash for a bit and you've been building up your project, this library will have a huge amount of information in. I would be tempted to rename your stuff before you start with whatever it is, just so that you remember. So this is going to be rabbit with idea, or rabbit idea. Now I know exactly what that is. When other things come in, you'll see some tween one and stuff come through in a minute. That gets quite confusing. So as it's coming in, rename it, and then you've got a good organised approach to your Flash stuff. Here's my rabbit. Let's go and put him on that side of the screen. So the rabbit starts over here with his amazing idea, and his amazing idea is to walk across the screen. So we're going to use our timeline up here again. We're going to right-click at the appropriate point that we want to insert a keyframe where we want the rabbit to end up. So I'm going to add one there. So I could right click and I could insert my keyframe, or if you prefer to go insert timeline keyframe, that's absolutely fine. Make sure you're not putting frame in, that causes problems. Has to be a keyframe over there, and we want to say at frame 50 we want the rabbit to be over there. So the rabbit was at 1 over this side, and then at 50 he's going to be over there. Now at the moment he just jumps. Now rabbits are known for jumping, but at this point we want him to walk across, so we want to right click and we want to put a classic tween in there. The reason we're using that and not motion tween is motion tween you have to set the path of where you want it to go. You can get it moving in all sorts of directions and places and stuff, and it is more complicated than a classic tween. But just to get something moving across the stage, you may as well just classic tween it. We've got the arrow built up, which means that it's absolutely correct and it is working from one frame to another. Let's press enter and try it out. And there's our idea rabbit moving across the screen. If it's outside the grey area here, so it's on this bit and not in the white bit in the centre, that means that it won't be shown when we control and enter. So it's not there, and it's somewhere over here in the grey bit at the end. Notice it's repeating all the way around as well, so we've now got a repeating rabbit going all the way through and moving across the stage properly. If I set it now just to go upwards at the end, so it starts off down here, and some of you are guessing what's going to happen because he ends up there. In fact, you can probably tell, and if you can, brilliant, you can see it running through the timeline. It's now moving upwards by diagonal. So wherever you set your start and your end point, that's where the rabbit's going to move. If you then want the rabbit to come back on, insert another keyframe and get it to move the other side of the screen. And obviously, don't forget to do the classic tween, link up, control and enter, moves up and moves back. Now, a lot of you, or in fact many of you, when you're doing it, will be going, well, hang on a minute, the rabbit's moving that way, fair enough, that's absolutely fine, there's nothing wrong with an idea rabbit moving across the screen, but coming backwards, now that rabbit is moonwalking, that's not allowed, so we can't have it going that way. We need to flip the rabbit round. Not a hugely easy task in Flash, because if I flip it at the end point here, modify and transform and then flip him that way, you'll see when it runs, he flips round. Not good. So the next one, I'll get it to flip properly.